Hey, this is Grategy with another review, this time being of the 3 Bizarros that have been released, all being the most recent because every other form of the actual Bizarro is absolutely terrible compared to this one. And I refuse to acknowledge them as Bizarros after having this one. These are just the 3 Bizarro figures. Bat-Zarro being Batman's Bizarro, Yellow Lantern being Hal Jordan's Bizarro, and Bizarro being Bizarro. All their names, all their real names, are just their counterparts' name reversed. It doesn't actually reveal that about Bat-Zarro, but I'm sure that's what it is. Like, Yellow Lantern's real name is Jordan Hal instead of Hal Jordan, and then Superman's Bizarro is Kent Clark instead of Clark Kent. Now, first let's just look at these figs. If you notice, they do pretty much everything in reverse. Let's see if you can see. The utility belt on Bat-Zarro is upside down. All the pockets are open. There's chains underneath the cloak. And he has no eye holes in his mask. So he is in fact very stealthy. That's what I'm trying to get across if you couldn't tell. And he does actually have stealth and leap climb, just like the regular Batman. There's not a whole lot of power differences, really, between this Batman and an actual Batman, which I kind of like. I mean, for someone like me who actually doesn't like Batman at all, this is a nice replacement. He's only 69 points, too, which is great, because he has, he gets Outwit, Stealth, Leap Climb, Willpower, Energy Shield, and Perplex. But the catch about his Perplex, and what makes him still so cheap while having Perplex and Outwit, is he can only do negatives. So, but that's enough about him. Let's move on to the Yellow Lantern. He's kind of disfigured. His chest sort of juts out there a little bit. If you can, yeah, he's shooting himself in the face. That's not you seeing wrong. He's shooting himself in the face. Come on, camera, focus. Well, you can see it. And he's also, as you can see, part of the Sinestro Corps. Shooting himself in the face still. Kind of weird stature. Not overly great, but I like to use him because he's fun. He actually gets kind of bad really quick. He has Defend, which is really nice to pair up with this Bizarro if you've ever played with him. He has a ridiculously low defense. But he only does 1 damage, and then he soon drops to 0 with Range Combat Expert. But he keeps a decent enough attack, which is nice. And he also has Running Shot, which you can't use with Range Combat Expert. So I'm not sure why they give it to him. I mean, he can use Running Shot and Energy Explosion, but he can't use his actual damage power. So, and then the one and only Bizarro. As you can see, he flies upside down. I'm not holding it upside down. That's really how it is. And you can see the Bizarro #1 stone that has fallen off his head for his flight. I like the sculpt. His face isn't all that great, but I like how they made him fly upside down, where on the other 2, I believe, 2 or 3 Bizarros, they've always had him upright. Now, what's good about this Bizarro is he is just pushing hard damage the whole time. Starts out with 5 with 10 attack, and he does steadily lose attack, but 5 damage is definitely worth it. He only starts out with a meager 15 defense with Impervious, but on his last click, he actually has 20 defense with Toughness, which is just awesome, and he's still pushing 4 damage even at the end of his dial. So at no point is this figure ever useless. He starts out with Charge, but he eventually gets Hypersonic with 4 damage, 9 attack, and Close Combat Expert. He does have 8 range, though. So for those of you who like ranged figs, he's not completely useless in that aspect. And his white box is really cool. any doubles you roll, excluding 1s and 6s, count as double 5s, which is just nice, because, I mean, if you roll double 2s, which would normally be a 4, they're automatically 10s and you hit. Now, just because I think it's hysterical, I'm going to read you the back of Bizarro number 1's card. The background section. This Bizarro number 1 no am created when Joker am all-powerful Emperor. Bizarro number 1 no go to cube planet called Hetre, which is Earth spelled backwards, by Blue Sun into Bizarro World. On Bizarro World, them do opposite of all earthy things. Them hate beauty, them love ugliness. Is big crime to make anything perfect on Bizarro World. Bizarro number 1 know him having all powers of Superman and use them to destroy Metropolis as worst villain on Bizarro World. Him hate Bizarro Lois and have enemies like Yellow Lantern and Bat Zorro. And there you have it. And also, just a little side note about Bizarro. He flies upside down because he's the opposite of Superman. He has heat breath and cold vision because he's the opposite of Superman. And I've often questioned in the comics, why isn't he super weak? Well, they did it with the Click, which just makes me sad. He does not have super strength at any point on the dial. And I often forget this, because you'd think someone with 5 damage would have super strength, but he doesn't. So there you have it. The 3 Bizarros reunited once again on my shelf. Ta-ta for now.